All right. I am Willow Grace Mystic, and I brought Dr. Steve Davis from Advocare back because we were having a few technical glitches yesterday. And I'm calling this Lunch and Learn about CBD. So thank you for coming back, Dr. Steve.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate being here, Patty.
So I'm super excited about this because I had some people who wrote some questions in privately to me, and I wanted to direct them back to you. So the first was you had talked about what CBD is. Could you recap yesterday just a summary of what we talked about
Yeah,
what your
so
clinic offers, and where are you?
so we're in North Canton, Ohio, 157 Wilbur Drive Northeast. We're right over by Swenson's Hamburgers, if you know where that is, off of North Main Street. And what we talked about yesterday was the difference between CBD and the full spectrum of medical cannabis.
Right.
And CBD by itself is very helpful. You don't need to be in the registry to use CBD. As many have probably noted, it's available at multiple locations and various outlets. CBD has many health benefits. It helps with pain, it helps with inflammation, it helps with anxiety. And it is something that can be done as sort of a way to wade into trying cannabis as part of your health regimen without having to go through all the rigmarole of being in the registry. We carry CBD products in our clinic that are vetted by us. We make sure that they have a certificate of analysis, which means that they've been chemically tested and they know what's in it. That's a big part of being safe with CBD. They ran an article in the paper not long ago that showed that a lot of the CBD that was out there had trace metals and some things that you really don't want to have in your medication or your supplements that you're using.
Right.
So that's the main thing about CBD. And then there's also the THC component, which you have to be involved with the Ohio Medical Marijuana Program in order to get that. And that involves getting a medical cannabis card.
Got it. Okay. So I think a couple of the questions were about where it came from, is it safe, and like what do you when they're working with you? It's in so if I wanted to work with you, the first thing I need to do is contact you. And even though we're in a social distancing time period, I can still set up a time with you.
Absolutely. We're doing telemedicine, where we actually do similar to what we're doing today with this Facebook Live, where we can set up a Zoom meeting, or actually we use a secure platform through our EHR system, our electronic health record system that is HIPAA compliant, that allows us to hold the same type of face-to-face encounter without the risk of contact. So we're doing that. We're doing phone as well to kind of gather a bunch of the information up front, and then we can do the education online. But the main thing about doing an appointment is being able to get health records, which you need to substantiate your qualifying condition for participation in the Ohio Medical Marijuana Program.
Got it. And then when I'm working with you, it's not a quick fix. It's a
No,
slow process because I'm not familiar with it. I mean, I know it's been out there for a while and I know a lot of people are into it, but I have not experienced anything except for some vendors at some of my events.
yes. So it's something we talked about yesterday, a little bit about the fact that cannabis is the snowflake medicine, meaning it's unique for every individual. The way it's going to react in your body is a trial and error process, but it's a trial and error process with guardrails. What you want to do when you first start a program is you want to start low and go slow. You want to have a titration up of your THC so that you can get the benefits you're looking for without necessarily getting high. And that's a big concern for a lot of our patients, is how do I use this as a medicine?
Right.
And that's where our expertise lies. We look at not only the methods of delivery, things like vaporization, oils, edibles, tinctures, patches, salves, those types of things, to put together a comprehensive program to address all the patient's needs.
Got it. I love it. And then it's not just for people, but it's also for pets. So if I have a
Yes.
high anxiety dog, afraid of the thunder, afraid of, stressed out dog.
Yeah, so pups can definitely benefit from CBD. We have a lot of patients that have their pets taking CBD on a regular basis for things like chronic pain. Maybe you have an
Pain.
older
Yeah.
dog, a dog
Yeah.
with hip dysplasia or something along those
Arthritis.
lines.
Yeah.
So CBD supplements tend to help them a lot. We've had
And you have salves
patients,
and creams too,
yeah,
right?
we have
Because I
salves
have
and
seen
creams
some
as
of
well.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, so um, we have basically we have some pet products that are salves. We have pet products that are concentrated oils you can put in the food. We have CBD that is in a tincture form, just like
Yeah.
the drops that we use in ourselves. And so the topicals are nice for things like dogs that have a chronic scratching condition or raw
Yeah.
skin, dry skin, those types of things. It helps a lot.
So what about, somebody else asked about reaction with food or alcohol. I think that they had mentioned. Like,
Well, interestingly enough, with cannabis, most people find that they consume a lot less alcohol if they're in the medical marijuana program. In fact, we had a follow-up with a patient today that had stated that that was one of the big benefits that they saw is when they actually had gotten their card and started using the medicine for other things. One of the nice, I guess, side effects, but not really a side effect because it's really not a negative, but they were able
right.
to significantly cut back on their alcohol
Okay.
consumption and didn't miss it, which was nice. But CBD is processed in the liver and can basically it can stimulate the liver enzymes to become more active. So there's certain medications that you have to watch if you're taking CBD or THC because they may be metabolized differently after you start your medication regimen. You just got to keep an eye on it. There's
And
not a
that's why
lot of
they
them.
spend time with you. Yeah, right. But that's why they have to make sure that they stay in tune to their body and stay in tune with their connection with you.
Correct. So we do the medication review. We look for interactions. We have software that helps us do that as well if they have a very broad medication list. But at the end of the day, the main thing is making sure that our patients are safe and that we're using medical cannabis in a responsible manner to get them the relief that they're looking for.
Got it. So, other things that I should know about it. Because
Cannabis
remember, I know
itself
nothing. Yeah,
or
yeah, because
CBD?
I worry about, I look at it as um, it's a natural medication, and I get upset that sometimes people will say, well, it's a drug. Well, so is over the counter stuff that we now have to put behind the counter because people abuse it. And you're talking about working closely with somebody to help them heal from within.
Yeah. So a lot of our drugs prescription drugs that we have
Yeah,
now come from plants.
right.
Right. So they would never been in existence if someone wasn't able to extract that chemical and then just refine it to be able to put it in a capsule. But in the original form, it was used as a plant.
Right.
So
Wow.
I think the biggest thing to get over is the mindset that has been created around cannabis to vilify it. And there's a lot of different reasons you could cite, but at the end of the day, a 20-year-old in college can walk across the street with a $20 bill, buy a bottle of whatever, and drink themselves literally into a coma and die.
Right.
You know, that's dangerous.
That's dangerous. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
you might play around with cannabis recreationally and get too much, but it's not going to kill you.
No.
And you know, and then you throw in the extra layer of people using it as a medicine with responsible titration and paying attention to how they're reacting along that continuum. And now you have a really safe medication because you're monitoring what you're doing and you're using it in a way to achieve a medicinal benefit and not just a recreational high.
I got it. I like. Now, I was reading that you offer, because of the time period that we're in, the grab and go, like grocery shopping is, but
Yeah, so we carry, let me grab a couple things here.
yeah.
Um, So we carry two main lines, okay? We carry the build line, which, let me get that right there.
Yeah.
The build line, which is an isolate of CBD. It's very pure. I know the manufacturer personally. We've seen their COAs, we know their process, and we've had this now for several months where our patients are having excellent benefit with this just as an isolate. And it's a very cost-effective way to add CBD to your regimen. Because one of the things our patients run into is they get their card, and the CBD from the dispensaries is very expensive to add to your regimen versus CBD that you could get at an outside source. The problem is most people don't trust the CBD from the outside source. And that's kind of the benefit of getting it through our office, in that we've done the homework, we've vetted the producers, we know what's in it, we know it's good quality, and we know that our patients can expect a consistent performance of the product when they take it. So this stuff is amazing. It's a,
Is that like a roller ball?
This is actually a cream. This stuff
Cream.
is a pain cream that's CBD rich that does an amazing job. We also have oils through 3Chi that
I
are
love
very,
oils. Yeah.
yeah.
Now, are those the ones that you're making, or that you outsource and bring in, that you know that you trust?
We outsource and bring in. Yeah, to try to make that would be a full-time job. And
Yeah.
really our focus is, and really the only reason we carry CBD in the first place is because we had so many questions over and over and over again. I see it at Family Video, I see it at the gas station.
Right.
I see, so how do I know it's good? So trying
Right.
to direct a patient and give them good advice on where to get their CBD became an issue. And so we started carrying it for that reason. Also, the prices were all over the place for what people were getting. And we wanted to make sure that we got them a good value for the product they were getting. So it was those two things. Plus we wanted to make it simple. With the CBD tablets, the isolate, if that add-in really works for you well with the addition of, for our patients that are in the registry, the cannabis they're getting there, great. We have some patients that just use the tablets by themselves and get great relief with their arthritic type pain. So the bottom line was we had so many questions on where to get it. Is it any good? How do I take it? What am I? And then knowing how many milligrams am I getting? All that kind of stuff matters as far as knowing what's in the bottle, and trying to direct them without seeing what they're getting was very difficult.
Right. Like it's very foreign. I mean, like I do my chiropractor before I do a regular doctor. I try to do homeopathic and natural remedies before I go to another extreme of that. And so this to me seems like a more natural. Haven't tried it yet, but if I have something that comes up, I would think that I would first reach out for pain or for sleep, because I think you said you had something that helps with sleep. So instead of like popping a Tylenol PM,
right,
that would be a little bit more natural.
So our Recover formulation has CBD as well as magnolia in it. And magnolia is a supplement that helps a lot with sleep, and the CBD does too. I think the other big thing to know about CBD is it's not going to give you any psychoactive effects. It's not going to make you high at all. And the nice thing about the isolate tablets we talked about is so many people are concerned about trying CBD and having a positive drug test. There's absolutely no THC in the isolate tablets.
Oh, okay.
And in our oils, they're under the 0.3% that you have to be considered hemp in Ohio.
Yeah.
But there's, they say, could I possibly test positive with one of those? The answer is, I guess you could possibly test positive, but you shouldn't. But with the isolate, it's an absolute no, you won't test positive.
No, you won't. Okay. I mean, I know that I work on a different realm than you. I'm a Reiki master, and so I believe that the energy that we give off energy, we receive energy, and I do not like to dull my energy in any way, because then I can't pick up on other people and their vibrations. And so if other people are like me, ton of them out there, that they understand it, they feel it, this would not dull or mute them. This just relieves pain and brings them into a healthier way of being, is what I think that I hear you're saying.
That's a good summary. Yeah. Pain, anxiety is another one that a lot of
Anxiety.
people get good relief. But
Yeah.
again, it's not a high. You don't get high with it at all.
Yeah. Even better. Well, because when you're high, like even from drinking kind of mutes things, and I cannot always trust my feelings. And so getting high, I mean, you can get high off of natural things, also mutes things. So this is just about balancing. And that's what I do when I go to my chiropractor and I take the supplements that they give me. I will say, okay, this hurts, or I need to, it's all about the chi in our body, and being one with it. And this is you helping people to come back into being one. Is that?
Yeah. So it's a great, and actually you just led into a very important point that we start our education with, and that is that every single one of us has what's called an endocannabinoid system. And that's where the CBD and THC works in our bodies. Now, our endocannabinoid system is exactly what you said. You're very intuitive. It's our system of wellness, balance, and repair.
Right.
That's what it does in our bodies. It's been there for eons as the endocannabinoid system. And all we're doing with CBD and THC is mimicking molecules that we already make in our body. Everybody's heard of endorphins, right? Endorphins are like our natural opiates that we make in our body that help with pain and so forth. And then
Right.
that's where Vicodin and Percocet and all those types of medications work at those receptors. Well, we also have the endocannabinoid system, which is there for wellness, balance, and repair. We make two molecules in our bodies, 2-AG and anandamide, that stimulate that system. And when we supplement with CBD or THC, all we're doing is activating our body's natural system for wellness, balance, and repair. And that's the endocannabinoid system in a nutshell.
Okay, I like it because that makes a lot of sense to me. I mean, I understand it, and but I understand it better on that point of view. And so, where can we talked about where your location is?
Yes.
You what are links to get to you, or where else, like technology wise, can they find you?
Advocareclinic.com.
Got it.
They can book online. They can also set up a teleconference online. They can give us a call at 330-754-4850. That's our main number. And
we'll add a link to the comments below. I'll make sure that we put a link in there so people can just click on it and get to you. And now you were having, okay, until all this, didn't you have like a couple events where people can come in and like informational?
Yes, so we did meet and greets in our clinic, and we were going to have a 1-year anniversary, which was in March. But due to the COVID crisis, we thought better of it and wanted to follow the rules and not have encourage contact.
Proximity,
so, so we postponed all those things.
But I think when things come out, I'm looking at like mid-May maybe, that like hit it again and allow people to come in and see everything that you offer and the connections that you've made. All right.
Yeah, we're always willing to talk with folks and kind of share some information, because we do realize it's a big step for a lot of people. And the more that you learn and the more that you understand, you can make a good informed decision for yourself. It's not for everybody.
Right.
I will tell you that probably about 10% of the people that try the medical marijuana program don't get the results that they're looking for, so they opt out. But if you compare that to a lot of medications, what's the efficacy of those? Is there a 10% failure rate? And most, I would venture that it's a lot higher than that. A perfect example would be antidepressants, right?
Right.
Some people start with an antidepressant and have to go through 5 or 6 different tries until they find something that works for them. Well, if you have a medication that for most folks, the majority can find a good amount of the results that they're looking for, I think that's a win.
It's a win. Yeah. Well, I appreciate you coming on here, and I'm happy that people now know where to find you, a little bit more education, and maybe we can have another lunch and learn again. So I'm Willa Grace Mystic. I can be found on Facebook and Instagram. I am going to upload this to YouTube, so please share it with people there also. And if you have any questions, make sure you hit him up, or you can subscribe to my newsletter, and I will make sure that all of his information is in the comment column. All righty? All right. I heart you.
Thanks, Patty.
All right. Bye.
Bye.